So I'm going to ask you to sit back and relax and just close your eyes and listen to a story. You see, right now, a lot of people are going through anger. And you hear this story about lifting the veil so that we can see and that we can share our own perspectives of what lifting means. So when we talk about anger, there are a few different types of anger. First, there's just the anger that something occurred that was just out of our control. We get angry, but then we let the anger go because we're able to realign or let go of what was seemingly out of control. And that's fine because it impacts us, but it doesn't impact us to a point where we feel that we can no longer align the rest of our day or our time. And then there's anger where we understand that something is subject to change and we watch that extreme change, but then we are able to, again, let go and adjust to that change. And as we're able to adjust to the change, we realign our ability to move forward through life, understanding that this change is going to impact us, and then taking it into consideration. Okay, I embrace the change. This is how it's going to impact me, and I can still move forward. But then there's a change that takes place that's paralyzing. It is absolutely paralyzing and it will destroy. And it will truly impact us because we don't see a way to move through it. We don't see a way, or we don't have the strength to move through it. And it may be perceived that we can't control it. It's other people's fault. We're not educated enough to figure out how to move it out of our way, or maybe educated is not the word. We just can't seem to resolve the issue. It's like a hopelessness. And that's the most concerning anger. It's like we're off the grid with anger and we're in this story and we're cycling and we're cycling and we're cycling. We don't know what to do. Things feel like they're running amok and out of control. And like a child who can do nothing but scream, we want to throw a tantrum inside because we just want to make it go away. How do we deal with our anger? How is it that we move through this story? Now, we hear a lot of people saying, oh, love is the answer. Love will get us through. Let's talk about that a little bit. You see, there are multiple levels of love. And when I talk about multiple levels of love, let's talk about what's most apparent. We love our families. We love our children. We love our spouses and partners. That comes from our heart. It's most genuine. That is something that we see apparent when we see two people walking down the street, holding hands. Or when we see a mother and daughter, father and son, or family together. And sometimes not, there are degrees of love. But I want to talk about the love that moves the hopelessness. When I talk about that kind of love, the people that come into mind are like a Dr. Martin Luther King. He said, love my enemy. Love my enemy? What? How can you love an enemy? How can you love someone who is so full of anger, so full of hopelessness or hate in opposition to me? But we watch this love. We witness this love. We witness it through leadership. It isn't necessarily something physical. It is that we have the power and the strength within us as individuals, as groups, to come together and love from a level unseen that moves mountains. And when we watched people come together and protest without anger, without physical encounters, but to do it in silence, or maybe not silence, but to do it without getting physical, that is a love. That is a love. It reminds me of a story I saw. A family adopted a child. And I wish I could remember exactly the particulars of this. And this child, a teenager, about 13, 14, came in so angry. And not only was he angry, but he would just destroy everything in his sight. If you left him in the room, he would tear up the room. If you left him with people, he would get in a fight. He would have to be restrained. Everyone had given up on this child except the mom. And one of the things that she decided to do is that she would hold this child for 10, 15 minutes every day. He would be kicking and screaming, wanting to get out of her arms, but she would hold this child to show her love and her affection. And she did this, and she didn't do this for an hour. She didn't do this for a week. She didn't do this for a month. She did this for years. And I wish I could remember, but I remember seeing this special and hearing how this woman, no matter what this child did, showed her love to this child every single day. And then I remember seeing this special where the child was getting up and talking about how everyone had given up on him. Everyone said the case was hopeless, that he was a hopeless case, except for his mother. His mother, who had a love so great and so grand that she held this child and still showed him love no matter how many tantrums he threw. Because it was years before he would actually accept being held. Years that he would throw tantrums in her arms, kicking and screaming to get out, and her determined to show him what love felt like, not including all of the things that he destroyed and did in the daily life. And she showed him this love, and there he stood in testimony of how he was so grateful that his mother had not given up on him. You see, he sat there and said to his mother, "Thank you for showing me love, the love I never felt, the love I could not feel. Thank you for penetrating the wall that I had not allowing love to come in, but only wanting to be filled with anger, hopeless anger. Whether he felt like the victim, whether he felt like the perpetrator of something bigger that was always going to be negative. It didn't matter because she showed him love. And that love wasn't just a physical love of holding. See, love spans many dimensions. There's the seen, and then there is the unseen. There is the love of family, the love of friends, and we show it. We show it through affections. We show it through getting along. We show it through all types of little things that we do. But then there is the love that spans community, the love that makes great leaders, the love that moves mountains. And within us, it has to be patience and knowing that nothing is ever hopeless. It is wanting the best for ourselves, but for those who may even oppose us. Let them understand that this is for the best for both of us, our highest and greatest good. That I will only give you love. I will not go to this lower vibration, this lower activity of hating with you and feeling hopeless with you. Hopeless of wanting to resolve the situation versus the person inflicting it on. It is imperative that we realize that when we sit in our love, that it spans many dimensions. And that we may think that the impact is only here and now, right at this obvious moment, what we can see, but beyond what we can see. And that as human beings, we want instantaneous gratification, but that's not necessarily how it is overcome. It is imperative that we exercise steady and constant love in our hearts, because the anger was not gained instantaneously overnight. It was achieved steady and constant change that led us there. And even though we may show anger in a moment's notice, the culmination of change and activities that get us there did not just happen overnight. So we're not going to always let go overnight. But the point being is that we should not dwell in hopelessness. That there is always a way to move through the story. And that just because we cannot see it does not mean it is not there. So I'm going to take us on a journey. A journey that allows us to be able to see ourselves honestly and acknowledge our anger and acknowledge the fact that sometimes we just need to move through a story. And that even though we may not see the way out in how to move through hopeless anger, how to advance and keep the landscape from stopping and wanting change, wanting it to change for the better. That it takes our trust in the divine our trust in God, and our faith in ourselves to have the ability to move through any hopeless state through the state of love. And to know that love is multidimensional, to know that love is grander, to know that everything has been overcome in that state of mind, in that state of being. You see, Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., Mandela, they all possessed the ability to keep their love of the divine most sacred, to keep centered and at peace in their heart, and to know and have the patience to move through any story that occurred, no matter how hopeless it seemed. So I want you to take a deep breath in and out. And another deep, deep breath in and out. And I want you to bring your focus and your noticing inward to your heart space, to the vast universe of your heart space, where love stands strong, where creativity is imagined, where there are no limitations and there are no labels. And as you're looking within your heart space, I want you to take a walk to a body of water. Whether it be the ocean or a grand lake. I want you to stand on the edge in the sands. And I want you to dip your toes in the water. And then I want you to walk towards the water up to your waist. And I want you to see the crystallization of that water, knowing that light and light codes are blessing that water. And I want you to bathe in that water, knowing that you are washing off all the anger, all the hopelessness, all of it just sheds. Hey, ah, hey. Oh, yeah. Hey, ah, hey. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Ah. Hey, hey. Oh, yeah. Hey, hey. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. The water is lapping in waves around you. You've cleansed. You've washed. You've let go. You've moved through the water. You've moved through the story. You've moved. Although change is constant around you, although moments may feel hopeless, you are able to cleanse and move through the story of hopelessness, move through the story of anger, move through the stories of life, creating and defining your own. As you move slowly out of the water towards the earth, heart beating, heart throbbing, body throbbing, you move to the earth. You feel the pulsation all the way down to your toes, and with each step on the earth, you feel the Earth Mother and her heartbeat. Every step that you take cuts the cords of the story. Every step that you take, you move past the story of anything that tries to define you. You see, you are the creator of your own story. You are defining your story. And it is not a story of anger, of hopelessness, of not seeing a way out. It is a story of moving through the storm in grace and ease, creating your own path, a path that leads to your heart's desires, the life you desire. That heartbeat, ever present, always present. The Earth Mother, always willing to create the path anew if you ask her. The choice is yours. Take a deep breath in and out. Another deep, deep breath in and out. And whenever you're ready, open your eyes.